Reversing underachievements in students' course, day 1. Today we are going to be talking about what makes a student an underachieving student, why students need you to reverse their underachievement, and how doing that can change your life if you will. I've mentioned earlier that 10 out of 10 students are underachieving in at least one subject. And I want to bring to your notice that as a teacher, this is an opportunity for you to learn more about underachievement and how you can reverse underachievement in these students in a way that guarantees that you become better as a teacher, professionally, and financially. I want to cover about 5 things in this lesson really quickly. Number 1 is to just remind you of the fact that if you teach these kids and they haven't learned for whatever reason, you literally haven't taught them. In other words, students who underachieve in your subject do not learn what you teach. And even if they do, they always perform below your expectations. So even though you gave it your all, their response does not show that you did. I feel obliged to make teachers aware that your work as a teacher will not be complete if you don't learn how to get underachieving students in your class to do better. The second thing I want to do is review what underachievement actually means and what defines a student as an underachieving student. I have been talking about the definition of underachievement for a while now, but we will go over it again. Remember, repetition is the mother of all skills. Thirdly, I want to show you how to take advantage of the respect that these students have for you in getting a little closer to each student so that you can really make impact in reversing their underachievement. See, underachieving students tend to be too unmotivated on their own, but on the nudge of someone they respect, they are more likely to make more effort. For example, accounts of many students who were once underachievers in a particular subject attribute their achievement to a particular teacher who changed how they saw things about life or about the subject in question. Fourth thing I want us to go over today is how to see these issues more closely in a way that allows you to seize opportunities that could change your life and elevate your status as a teacher. I want to show you what you have been missing and how you can become more as a teacher. Finally, I want to show you how to use what I call the Smp model. Smp means support, mentor, and partner. In other words, I want to show you how to support, mentor, and partner with your underachieving students. Those are my 5 outcomes for today. You would agree with me that we have a lot of work to do in a short period of time. So let's get to it. First of all, just remember that every student leans towards underachievement at one point or another in their lives. Underachievement is a behavior that comes up as a lack of motivation to excel at certain areas. So for a short moment or maybe for a longer period, all students give off that energy that suggests that they may be losing motivation to excel at school generally or at a particular subject. Some of the things that are responsible for this is fear of success, fear of failure, boredom, lack of skills, peer pressure, poverty, parental negligence, and so on. Anytime a student is in that state of low motivation, it triggers some emotions that are expressed as procrastination, leaving schoolwork undone, resisting adult supervision, unorganized actions and thoughts, interest in only tasks that are pleasant, boredom, lack of curiosity, a dissatisfaction over grades, overwhelm. Anytime a student is in that state, it tends to result in a corresponding underachievement in one or more subjects. Are you following me on this? Now, in other words, if a student behaves in any of the aforementioned ways, the student is either leaning towards underachievement or the student is already an underachiever. When students consistently do these actions, the student's mind becomes conditioned to do less than is required, consciously or unconsciously. This is why many scholars define underachievement as doing poorly on purpose or doing poorer than expected. The whole thing now takes a turn for the worse when the student begins to lower his or her expectations of himself, such that he is no longer obliged to do too much. The resultant lowering of expectations guarantees that the student doesn't feel bad or doesn't feel concerned about his grades anymore. Also, in some cases, the teacher or even the parent may lower their expectations of said students. And this is one of the ways that teachers and parents contribute to students' underachievement. Now, pretty soon, the lower expectations becomes the students' reality. And as you would expect, many of these students would even begin to do work that is way lower than that already low expectation. Therefore, over time, it becomes harder to reverse the underachievement of such a student because the mind is already conditioned. So one of the recommendations you will need when working on such students is to define your expectations. It's okay if the student cannot meet that expectation at that moment. You have a target and your aim should be how to empower that student to reach that target. Now let's take a look at what is called the two factors. These are basically the two factors that contribute to students' underachievement. The first one is emotional and motivational factors, while the second one is learning sources and learning resources. Emotional and motivational factors refer to the student's motivation to achieve and the student's emotions. Factors concerned with learning sources and learning resources refer to the kind of teacher the student has, parental influence, learning resources that are used, and even undiagnosed learning disability. Now, learning disability and underachievement are similar in that there is a discrepancy. In learning disability, it is usually a discrepancy between the intellectual ability of the student and then the student's academic achievement. In underachievement, however, it is a discrepancy between expected achievement, which is determined by the student's age, potential, and talent, and the student's actual achievement. So in underachievement, the discrepancy is between the expected achievement and the student's actual academic achievement. So underachieving students behave in a way that causes them to underachieve, while students with learning disability have neurological conditions that holds them back from demonstrating their true intelligence. So students with learning disabilities may have trouble learning certain contents, while those with underachievement may be unmotivated to learn certain content. In other words, underachievement is a character flaw, while learning disability is not. Because underachieving students choose to underachieve, it is not surprising that they tend to be unyielding. In order to reverse a student's underachievement, it is important that the teacher is ready to build a relationship with that student with the aim of getting the student to do better by first agreeing to do better. Many times, teachers go ahead to give the students reasons and resources that they believe can make the students do better without first getting the students' agreement to do better. An agreement can be direct or indirect. Examples of indirect agreements are students' expectation and learning contracts, where every student signs a printed copy of the student's expectation form or contract. In this case, the student is forced to conform based on respect for school rules and authority. In other words, the student is forced to meet expectations of the school and teachers because he has filled the form and signed an agreement. A direct agreement is when a teacher uses his understanding of that student to translate into an agreement to meet expectations. One thing I already mentioned is how students can put in more effort and do what's required because they want to impress or make a particular teacher proud of them. Another example is when a teacher makes learning so simple that the student realizes that with a little more effort, he can get better grades. Many students are fortunate enough to have such teachers who teach so simply that learning becomes easier, and also they have teachers that they respect and for whom they want to do more so that they can be proud of them. In both situations, I have come to realize that teachers who get students to improve are the ones who ask for student agreement. They ask and the student tries hard to deliver. That active demand for more from the student is what makes the difference. So it is a teacher's duty to reach out to the students and ask that the students agree to put in required efforts to meet the teacher's expectations. The purpose of asking is just to get the agreement, and by getting the agreement, the chances are much higher that the students will deliver. If as a teacher you are assertive and you have a high expectations of your students, you will make a lot of impact in empowering underachieving students. So you can do this on the small scale, say as a class teacher or a subject teacher, or in a larger scale as an underachieving student mentor and trainer. An underachieving student mentor and trainer's job is to cushion the effects of students' low motivation in certain subjects so it does not affect important subjects. And secondly, their job is to equip students to deeply understand a pre-agreed list of important subjects. Thirdly, to stabilize students' emotions and motivations to reach certain goals such as passing an exam. Fourthly, to equip students to be self-confident and build skills for achieving in school and in life. The fifth requirement is to provide uncommon sense that distinguishes the students from other students. And lastly, it is to create an empowerment plan that students can follow over a period of time, even long after that teacher has stopped teaching the said student. So your job is to get students to agree to produce results and then empower them accordingly. It's a win-win situation when you are paid to do this, or if you are not in a position to charge money. It is a win-win if you are content with the satisfaction of getting these students to do more than they would ordinarily do on their own. One way to guarantee that you get favorable response is to use the Smp method. You see, most teachers judge, lecture, and compete in a bid to work on underachieving students in their care. Instead of this, you should support, mentor, and partner with your underachieving students. The idea is to support, not judge, mentor, not lecture, and partner, not control. I hope this is clear enough. To provide support, you have to provide opportunities for leadership, influence, impact, direction, empowerment, and inspiration. To mentor the students, you have to provide avenues for taking action. You have to provide opportunities for them to practice. You have to provide opportunities for recognition. So when a student is doing well, you have to recognize that student. And then lastly, you have to provide avenues for vision management. And lastly, to partner with a student, you have to be what is called a partner in progress. Then secondly, you have to be a partner in deed. And then lastly, you have to be a partner at heart. A partner at heart is somebody who cares about you to the point that it seems as if you are his child. A partner indeed means you do things together. And lastly, partner in progress means you have the student's progress as one of those things that are important to you, and you show it. So it is important that you use the Smp model to reach your objective. For your first assignment, I want you to list out the names of underachieving students in your class and write out which of the two factors contribute to each student's underachievement. It is important for you to note that for any student, both factors can be applicable. For your second assignment, I want you to look at the 6 jobs or duties of an underachieving student trainer and mentor and list out the ones that you are currently great at. These are your 2 assignments. We have covered a lot today, to say the least. But if you go through everything that we've learned and apply this, you will drastically improve your work as a teacher of underachieving students and totally change your life as a teacher. You have real power to shape these students' future. And if you need to listen to some part of this training twice, that's fine. Again, whether you are dealing with students whose underachievement is caused by one of the 2 factors or both, all you have to do is get an agreement before you begin the empowerment process. If you want more insights into empowering underachieving students in your care, be sure to join us tomorrow. When you come back tomorrow, we're going to talk about other important topics. Till then, have fun with your assignments and get ready to be different and be better.